So picture this. If you had to create the ultimate final exam for a high schooler, what would it look like? Another test? Maybe a group project? Well, what if it was a massive 4,000-word university-level research paper on literally any topic the student wanted? Yeah, it sounds intense, right? That's the extended essay from the International Baccalaureate. But here's the thing. This isn't really about writing a long paper. It's about building a whole new way of thinking. And this, right here, gets to the very heart of why something like that essay even exists. A huge survey of hiring managers in the US found something really telling. They weren't hurting for people who could just memorize facts. Nope. They needed people who could communicate, who could collaborate, and who could actually think critically. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is traditional school preparing students for the world they're actually going to walk into?
You see, that skills gap is really just a symptom of a much bigger challenge. The world is getting more and more complex every day, so education can't just be about downloading information into a student's brain anymore. It has to be about building their ability to think for themselves, to ask their own questions, and to solve problems that don't have easy answers.
And this is where the International Baccalaureate program, or the IB, really enters the picture. Just look at their mission. It's not just about getting good grades. It's ambitious, and it's incredibly human. The whole point is to help develop young people who aren't just smart, but also curious, compassionate, and ready to actually make the world a better place.
So you might be wondering, how on earth does the IB plan to pull off a goal that big? Well, it's not just one thing, it's baked into their entire approach to learning. Their mission isn't just a poster on a wall, it becomes a blueprint for the kind of person they hope every student can become.
And that blueprint has a name, the IB Learner Profile. Now, don't think of this as just a checklist. It's more like a set of challenges. The entire program is designed to push students to become genuine inquirers, thoughtful communicators, and reflective learners who, and this is key, aren't afraid to take a few intellectual risks. Okay, so you've got these incredible ideals, but how do you measure them? I mean, you can't exactly use a multiple choice test to see if someone has become a thinker or a communicator. The IB's answer is this massive capstone project that forces students to live out those ideals, the extended essay. So what is it exactly? Well, the extended essay, or EE as it's called, is a required 4,000-word research project. But here are the two most important parts. First, students pick their own topic, something they're actually genuinely curious about. And second, it's a journey they take with a teacher's supervisor who acts as their guide. It's all about personal discovery. And when we say they can pick any topic, we mean it. I mean, just look at the intellectual curiosity on display here. These are real meaty questions. One student is digging into gentrification in Hong Kong. Another is exploring the link between genes and aggression. Or how about tackling the fall of the Soviet Union? Or analyzing different versions of Beauty and the Beast to see what they say about our views on gender? This is a whole other level.
But here's the real secret to the extended essay, and it's a big one. The 4,000-word paper at the end, that's almost beside the point. The real learning, the real value, happens during the process itself. It's a structured journey of asking questions, hitting walls, and reflecting. It's designed to teach students how to learn, not just what to learn.
And that journey is built around 3 official, mandatory meetings with their supervisor. It all starts with the first session, where they have to take a big, messy idea and wrestle it into a sharp, focused research question. Then there's an interim session, kind of a check-in to talk through arguments and figure out how to get past roadblocks. And it all wraps up with something called a viva voce, basically a final interview, where the student explains what they did and what they learned. And that supervisor's role is so important. As Colin Campbell from the IB puts it, the supervisor is not there to hand out answers. Their whole job is to be a guide, a mentor. They're there to ask the right questions, to help students figure out their own ideas and find their own way forward. It's all about empowering the student. And this is such a critical difference. The supervisor isn't your editor. They can't just cover the draft in red ink or tell the student what words to use. Instead, they act like a critical friend. They'll push back. They'll challenge an assumption. They might leave a comment like, I'm not quite following your logic here, which forces the student to go back and rethink their own argument. And that brings us to that final reflection, the viva voce. This quote from a supervisor just nails it. By the time a student gets to the end, the physical paper itself is almost secondary. The real end product is the growth, the change, the connections that have happened inside the student's head.
The Viva Voce is basically a celebration of that amazing transformation.
So let's just zoom out and bring this all home. Why put a student through this year-long, intense process? It's because the extended essay teaches them something way more important than the answer to one research question. It's designed from the ground up to teach them how to learn.
And you don't just have to take my word for it. Listen to what this student said. They realized that the act of reflecting, of pausing to think about their own thinking, is what made all the learning actually stick. It wasn't just about getting the assignment done. It was about understanding the process itself, which locked in everything they had discovered.
So look at this list of skills that this whole process builds. Critical thinking, research, time management, communication. Wait a minute. These are the exact same skills those hiring executives were looking for back at the beginning. The extended essay is a direct response to that need. It's a training ground for the skills that really matter, including the ultimate one, metacognition, the skill of learning how to learn.
And that leaves us with this final thought. The extended essay really makes a powerful argument. It bets that a real, lasting education isn't about filling a student's mind with a bunch of facts they have to memorize. It's about giving them the tools, the confidence, and the resilience to build their own knowledge for the rest of their lives.